Welcome back to the Gridiron Report with David Wright. So, an update on Marcus Mariota. He sprained his ACL. So, this is a 1 to 8 week recovery. Could be longer with his age. My main question about this would be I know we love Marcus and he's done us good, but he hasn't looked very good in this system yet. And his age is way up there. So this injury, just standing there, that was a pretty good injury, like a non-contact injury, just a game into it, just a couple plays into it. Do we worry? Do we need to bring in another quarterback? Are we comfortable with AK? Develop it. We're definitely for all those out there, I don't care if you like Sam Hartman or not, we're not comfortable with his ass at quarterback. Period. Let's just get that out on the table because that boy cannot play football. I don't give a shit what anyone says. So, do you think we should bring in a veteran backup, whoever that may be, to not only help develop AK, but just in case? Now, I don't believe Jaden will have any problems with his health this year. Um, I do believe mostly that was on um, Adam Peters and not giving Jaden what every other quarterback has gotten. Oh, you want to come in? Well, just in case you do, I'm just going to go ahead and drop you a link. If you don't, I understand. I know you work. There you go, just in case you do want to come in. So, with yes, he has been looking bad all summer long. I totally agree. He doesn't seem to fit into this system at all. So, as you're looking at it, do we panic just a little bit, or what we've seen from AK so far is that a good look and we just want to see more of it in the preseason and just let him get the snaps? Because if that's the case, can we keep Sam Hartman off the damn field for real, people? Like, it hurt my soul. We could have really put an ass smacking on Miami if Hartman wasn't in the game. There was so many. There was the interception, which was horrible. Yeah, I I would agree. Let's see what AK can do. Now, as far as panicking, the panic button should be slightly hit, not much, for our guard position, especially on the left side. Now, I know he did well last year, but he's not athletic. And in this system, you need more of athletic guys, ones that can get up to the second and third level, throw blocks. Um, he looked he looked pretty rough in that game. He was the reason why we were having a lot of problems with running the ball. I know some of them out there have been tying it to our center, and that's an easy take without doing any research. So when you look at the tape, you'll see that our guard on the left was just giving in. For that case, the guard on the right too. We were having guard problems. It wasn't center problems per se. And left tackles did well, considering Brandon just went to that position, and we had mostly backups. And this slander on Sonny Styles for a first game preseason is absolutely outrageous. You don't judge a player that's a rookie on a few plays in the first preseason game with nothing but a bunch of backups on the field, except for, well, technically, Leo Chenal is our backup. So he was on the field with just a bunch of backups. And we are judging this player. This is an attack on Washington. This Jaden bullshit, this Sonny Styles bullshit, for all you morons that don't get it, like, they're just coming after us because they want to promote Caleb Williams and Drake May, and it's obvious everything is an over exaggeration. Sonny Styles played only a few plays, and yeah, Chris Ball, really good pass blocker, is not good in the run game at all. That's a huge problem for us. Our whole system will be based off the run game. So unless he can come up with some athletic ability that he doesn't possess, I'm more worried about what they're going to do at left guard. I'm not really worried about center now as much. I'm not worried about the right side of the line at all. And I'm not worried about Brandon Coleman. Brandon Coleman is really athletic. He did really good last year. Um, he learned lessons big time in 2024. So I'm not worried about the right side of the line or the left tackle. However, that guard position, that's a problem. Now, I thought as we came into that game, we would see a big problem with the center. And Julia No Good Jones, he did what he did. He didn't throw any balls over Jaden's head or anything like that, but he just wasn't. I'm not going to dog on him because he did well ish. However, Matt Golbin looked really well for our rookie. I think we need to push more snaps his way and get him more prepared to go. So I am a little bit worried about the center because I like Allegretti. I think he'll be just fine. But can he stay healthy for the whole season? That's a big caveat too. Who knows? No, the starters didn't play. The only the only real starter that I can think that played in that first drive was Sonny Styles, and that's because he's a rookie. But they're going to rip him apart because he's a Redskin. It has nothing to do with Sonny. They're doing this stupid crap with Jaden. Like, this is about keeping us where we belong, just like they have for over 30 years. You know, they needed us in that 2024 season. Jaden was a hot commodity. He was the guy on fire. But then we had a down year. Now they want to promote Caleb Williams and Drake May and Bo Nix and other ones. So tearing down Jaden is what's good for business for them. So, and same thing with Sonny Styles. We're judging a rookie on a few snaps in the game with nothing but backups. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, you people are idiots. You're morons, low IQ imbeciles. You have the mental capacity of a freaking tulip. Please sit down. Shut the hell up. You don't know football. You shouldn't even be allowed to watch. You're not smart enough to comprehend. Now that I've done my little rant, kiss my ass. Now, if you want to tear Jaden down, some fine. If you want to put out jokes that are like 3-year-olds doing it, fine. He kind of put himself in this position. I know he didn't put himself in this position, but his mom did. Um, but to judge Sonny Styles and put all this noise into the ether when it was a few snaps in one preseason game with a bunch of backups. This is what's wrong with y'all. Your IQ is barely 60. Your jokes, your absolute jokes. So, as I'm watching our team, I get so excited. I thought Sonny looked great mostly. He was a little bit wandering, but of course he was. He was in with a bunch of Uber drivers. And it was his first game adjusting. He was the green dot. So there's a lot to that. And he wasn't in very long to even be able to get the game. You know, these idiots, these low IQ morons. And I hope you know, if you're looking at me and thinking, am I talking to you? Yeah, I am. So I'm watching this game. I loved almost everything I seen. Didn't like the guard position. Chris Paul, he's a problem. As much of a problem as we thought we had with our center, that game showed us a bigger problem, and it's definitely in our guard room. So I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to try to make Chris Paul fit around peg into a square hole, or if they'll go out and get someone that's a little bit more athletic and put Chris Paul back at a backup just in case. But I think it's an interesting problem because of what we came into that game thinking we had the problems with. And it wasn't even the center that was shining that it was a huge problem. I've seen people, Big Country's one of them, and some other guys. Shout out to Big Country, a Dallas fan. He does good content even on our team. So, but his take was it was the center. But when you go back and watch tape on it, it was not. The center held up pretty decent. Uh, and I can't stand Jones. Can't stand his. I don't think he should be on any football field on any team. But he did decent. And our rookie did really well. I was highly impressed. I know I've told you, small talk, that uh, I feel like he could get the reps in by the middle of the year. He could be ready to take some real starting snaps. And from what I've seen in that game so far, nothing has changed on what I thought about him. Matter of fact, if anything, I think he could be ready for some real snaps in a real games a little bit quicker than that. So I'm pretty happy about that. Oh, that's the thing. That's I've seen a lot of people tearing Jaden down, and I've seen a lot of people putting this narrative that he's injury prone and this and that. I watched Lamar Jackson go through this. I watched Josh Allen go through this. I watched great quarterbacks all across the league for decades go through this, where they got brought onto a team as a savior. Well, this was a little bit different. This kid came in and saved a horrible, disgusting franchise that had been put into FBI investigations and everything else by an owner that should have never got 5 cents. He should have been forced to give it away because he didn't deserve to make no money, but whatever. Um, man, he came into this league and took an organization that had been thirsty for anything to the NFC Championship with a bunch of Uber drivers, some baristas, Terry McLaurin, and a couple guys ready for the old folks home. So let's get that very clear. Then what happened? Adam Peters failed at his job. I mean, it is GM 101. When you have a rookie quarterback, you give him what he needs on the field for weapons. We didn't do nothing like that. We brought in Debo Sam. That's what we did. We brought in Laramie Tunsil, great signing, awesome deal. And we brought in Debo. That was our big savior. And on top of that, he screwed off on Terry McLaurin's contract, ended up making it last the whole year. So Terry gets injured. Then Debo gets injured. Of course he got injured. You kept Brown, which has never not been injured, you genius. And you brought in some people like Tay Martin, Robbie Chosen. How freaking disgusting of an absolute GM job it was. So you take this kid, you give him absolutely nothing, and you're like, do it again. Not a genius move, man. This kid had been raised up by media, everybody's fan base, including ours, as the savior. Then you don't think this kid is going to go out and get hurt because he's got a bunch of trash on the field, nobody he can trust to throw to, nothing he can do but take off running and try to be the savior again. Now, Jaden will go out and stay healthy this year because he's got weapons everywhere. He can dump the ball. He's got dogs that can win the game. This doesn't take a genius to figure out. But I'm watching the whole one side of our fan base be just the geniuses they are and laying into he's injury prone and this and that. Not that the situation and the circumstance that he was given was by far the worst that a quarterback's been given in a very long time. And not even close to everyone that came out of his damn class. Caleb Williams walked into a loaded room. So did Bo Nix with a top flight defense. Drake May walked in and was allowed to just develop and lose. And then they brought in a ton of weapons for him. We finally gave Jaden something to go with. Third year. Now, I'm going to take a step back and say Adam has had one hell of an offseason. I give him all his kudos. It's one of the best jobs I've ever seen and maybe the best job I've ever seen a GM do in an offseason for our organization. So, two things can be true here. I know for all you haters, I'm talking to a lot of stupid people. So I'm going to talk slow for you, and I'm going to explain. Two things, that's 1, 2, can be true. Jaden can get hurt because of the lack of the job that Adam Peters did. On top of Jaden not getting, no matter what, go down and keep safe because we need you no matter what. Two things can be true. Keep up. Jaden can come back this year without an injury because he has his actual checkdowns and real talent on the field and stay healthy and still have last year happen two things can be true. One other thing, keep up. I know you're a little slow. Come on. You can also look at it this way. Adam Peters can be one of the best GMs in the world this year. And I would put him there. I don't think no one had a better offseason than Adam Peters. But for the slow ones, two things can be true. He also massively failed in the first 2 years. Welcome to You're One Dumbass. So please sit down and shut up. I'm tired of stupid people saying stupid things. Can we let the product get on the field? This will be the first time my quarterback has had weapons and a real system. Every other year, he's had a bottom of the line defense and a bottom of the line offense that needed walkers with a bunch of Uber drivers. I could call one right now. They show up in a few minutes. Come on, guys. If you're not smart enough to talk, act like you're smarter than you are and don't talk. Just a suggestion. So, from what I actually saw in this game, Marcus looks kind of lost in this system, which worries me because, well, he's got injured standing there. He's a little old. He got injured just standing there, and he looks lost in our system right now. Marcus is a good backup. Let's make no bones about it. But he's a better backup in the air raid system because that's what he played in college. That's what he's comfortable in. So, are we looking at a problem that could fester its head if we do have an injury by JD5? Now, if we go through this year and JD5 gets injured again, we're going to have some real conversations about injury prone, and we're going to have some real conversations about are we okay or what should we do? But any moron that is judging Jaden by the 2 years that they saw before, when obviously our GM sucked until this year, you're an idiot. So let's go to Fat Man real quick. Fat Man looked really good in this game. It took him a minute to get going. This is very true. But after he got going, he was really putting it up and showing us what he could do, especially in the short game, which was a lot of positive yardage, or at least not a loss. So I actually love what I saw from Fat Man, and I think he will do just fine. It was once again his first preseason game in a real NFL season. So now our undrafted free agent, I made a video about him 230 or whatever ago, and I told my best friend that he was going to make our practice squad. I still agree that he will make our practice squad no matter what, but I'm telling you right now, if that kid puts up another game or two of what we just saw, they're not going to keep McNichols or Ford. Why would they keep two running backs that are that old when you have a young stud in Robert Henry? Now, we will have to see it a couple more games, but I do believe you could possibly see I totally agree. What Jaden was expected to do in 2025 was malpractice in every way on Adam Peters' part. The only thing he did for Jaden that year, it all, period, was Laramie Tunsil. He guarded his backside. That's it. When we had plenty of money, we had plenty of things to work with. It was absolute malpractice. I was really pissed off. I can't be so mad no more. Adams had a stellar offseason and gave Jaden everything he needs. There's no more excuses for injuries, no more excuses for failing. And like I said, my best friend's calling for like 7 wins, 8 wins. Everyone should be fired in the third year of a rebuild with what they put up in 2024 and 2025. I'm not talking about our record and a run to the NFC. I'm talking about what Adam did on paper, what Dan did on paper. In 2025, what Adam did on paper, what Dan did on paper. You know, one good year doesn't save your job over 3 years. If I go to work and I do 3 years of work and 2 of them suck, my ass is fired. And I can't even gripe because I earned it. So I watch a lot of people that, oh, don't make excuses for Jaden. Don't make excuses. Why are we making so many excuses for Adam? Why are we making so many excuses for Adam? Because, yes, he's done great this year. But if we only win 7 to 9 games this year, it's because he failed so horribly in the first 2 years. Period. So if we're going to have accountability and we're not going to make excuses, let's not make them excuses for Adam Peters neither. How about that? Because it goes on your resume. It's not just, hey, I'm going to put 2026 up and what I did that year. 2024 and 2025 as a GM goes on your resume too. Right now, Adam Peters' resume looks like ass except for 1 year. Now, he was a rookie with Jaden, so there'll be some grace there. And from here on out, we'll judge Adam where we judge him at. But if we only win 7 or 8 games, Dan should be fired before the end of the season. And Adam should be on the hot block to get a new GM for next year. I would give him another year and see what his offseason is again. That way you got 2 years of bad and hopefully 2 years of good, and then you know to keep him. But I absolutely believe Adam should be on a on-fire hot seat if we only win 7 to 9 games in the third year with the last 2 years. Now, I could see our back room being Bill, Rashard White, Katron Allen, and Robert Henry. All young, all explosive in their own way, all different kind of runners. The complementary run of Robert Henry and Bill would be something different, man. I would love to see it. I think that's where we were headed. I thought next year that's where we would be. Probably not Rashard White again, but maybe. I like that room a lot. And it's like I was telling the Dallas fan yesterday. I like our room more than any other room in the league. Not because of the top guy. Of course, I would want a Saquon Barkley or one of them. But it's because we're built for the long haul. Like, all our guys average 4.3 to 4.6 yards per carry. All our guys can do the job of a bell cow in a game or 2 or 3 or whatever it may be. We can take several injuries before we have to panic. Unlike a team that's Saquon Barkley loaded. You have an injury, though, you're falling off a freaking cliff. I don't care how good your second is. You're falling off a major cliff because that's Saquon Barkley. And our room is loaded with a bunch of light guys. So injuries, we're built for the long haul of the season, and I love it. Tight end, we saw Ben Sene pulling in some shit. I like where he's going, and that's going to help Ben Chig a ton. Our wide receiver room is stupid, and we're not even getting the credit for it that we should be getting, and I like that too. They're tearing down Sonny Styles. They're tearing down Jaden. These are all good things for the Washington Redskins. Because let Philly and Dallas and Seattle feed into it. Let them think what they saw in a few snaps in a game is a real thing. Because it's so loud out in the ether. We want that. We need that 3-0 start that we're about to get. So, whatever you people think, this shit on the internet is crazy. About Jaden, it's going on too long. He deserves some of it. It's kind of stupid to get involved with. I'm not going to. Tearing down Sonny Styles is as low IQ as you could possibly get. Our running back room looked really good, even with our backups. Our wide receiver room was open all night long. We just didn't have a quarterback that could get them the damn ball. Sam Hartman, you may be the prettiest damn quarterback in the league. I'm sorry. You may be the prettiest guy in the league, but you ain't a real quarterback. Go take your ass to the next Bachelor or go be a model. Get the hell off my team. You're not a serious person on a football field. Thank you. And as far as our wide receiver core, I can't say it enough. By the time we hit, and it could be quicker, Williams is looking like a dude. I say by the time we hit game 8 or 9, we're introducing 3 number 1 wide receivers onto the field with some really good backups to rotate in and out. Oh, he looked really good. I do believe he will, from what I could see, and his elusive first step, the way he saw the hole, hit it, and took off. I don't think. Now I want to see him one more time. I don't think McNichols or Ford can keep him off the field. I don't think they have the ability. I think the kid just needs a few more snaps, and he can bring way more than they ever could. Jerome Ford ain't no joke. He's been a decent running back, but we know what he is, and now he's old. McNichols is good, but that's all he's ever been. This kid looks like he could have the possibility of being special. He could be an absolute beast of a backup to Bill. And Fat Man too. And that's a serious young athletic squad, and I'd love to see it. So as we're looking at our team and we're listening to all the drama in the ether that's being made up for no reason. Now, like I said, Daniels has a little bit on his self, mainly his mama. We know who did this, but Sonny Styles did nothing wrong, and he's being torn down, and they're making clips. They're cutting clips and editing clips to make him look bad. That's how pathetic other people are of other fan bases. You have so little going on with your life that this is what you have time to do. No wonder most of you are pasty little morons that sit behind a computer and hide. You're Billy Badasses behind a keyboard. You're all talk and no show. Get a life. Go out into the sun. Get some sun. You're pathetic looking. Try to talk to a woman, you loser, and quit worrying about stupid stuff like let's make some false clips of Sunny Styles. Pathetic. So I have covered pretty much everything I needed to cover right now. I wanted to address the fact that Marcus went down over nothing. Now he doesn't look good in this system the whole off season. Um, AK looked really good. So the panic is probably not where we would be if AK would have looked like Sam Hartman. But I'm wondering, do they just keep riding with Marcus alone? Or do we bring in like a Driscoll or someone else and throw AK into that protected area on the practice squad and give him some reps to get ready? I'm just wondering because, man, a no contact injury that quick into preseason when you've already not been looking good in the system, that makes me a little nervous, just a small amount. I'm not too worried about Jaden going down this year. So the alarms haven't started firing yet. So what do y'all think about it? Um, I've seen content creators and other people say that Fat Man didn't look good. That's not factual at all. You look at his numbers, you look at him run. It took him a minute to get warmed up, but also he would have gotten more runs and got off more yardage if Chris Paul and our line wouldn't have been collapsing on the center. So if you go back and actually watch the tape, you start to see a different narrative to look at. So I'm not worried about Fat Man. I do believe he's our bruiser. Absolutely, he proved it on the line. He proved it that whole night. Um, when you wanted them couple yards, he was a hard runner. Um, we saw some good shit out of our tight end room. Like, how deep are we at tight end? Because I'm loving what I'm seeing across the. Shout out to Ed Oliver. Cager is looking really good. So is Yonkov, if that's the right way to say his name. If not, oops. Um, I'm wondering how I'm going to sit down later and try to break down a too early roster prediction. It's not going to be very easy because this tight end room, how many will we keep? You know, we're so loaded on top of receiver now. Do they just decide to keep 6 receivers, keep more tight ends? Do they? It's going to be an interesting next few weeks as they figure out what we're going to do because there's a lot of ways this could go. I was extremely happy to see Quan Martin show up. And I'm tired of hearing about the stupid interception being wide open. Anyone judging one player by one interception should definitely not have a podcast. Probably should never go on a podcast. Probably should not have opinions about football. I judged Claude Martin by what he was doing the rest of the night. And he was all over the ball. And that's what I want to see. It's not about one interception, whether it was wide open. And just to point out, the ball went flying, but he had to go get it. He had to bring it in. He had to stop inside the line. So if we're throwing up stupid narratives, then I'll throw mine up. He had to go get the ball. It didn't just fall to him. Y'all are talking like the ball was thrown straight to him and he just put his hands up. He actually had to run across the field and go get the ball. So I don't think you people understand what a layup interception is. A layup interception is it's thrown at my chest and I didn't have to go nowhere. It's not if I have to run across half the field, catch the ball, stop inside. But whatever. It was an easy interception. And I'm also too smart to judge him on an interception. If you go back and watch the game, he was on the ball all night long. He was very effective. He was in the game. So we're not going to judge this man yet. We know how bad it was last year. Let's see what he does because overall, he looked really good in our first preseason game. Will Harris is a little bit more of a problem because he played the snaps like Quan Martin. Quan Martin shined. He looked like a man amongst boys. He was all over the ball. He intercepted the ball. He stood out. He shined. Will Harris was there. He didn't do bad, but he didn't do exceptionally good. So I like Will Harris. I think he'll be fine. But I am a little bit worried that the team let him play so much and that he wasn't a star. If I'm making my standout players, he's supposed to be one of our starters, and he was not on that list. That concerns me a little bit. But he also just switched systems, and that may be why they had him play more, so he could start to get more of the system down by the time we hit the season. We shall see. So I've got 42 minutes into this, and I do appreciate everyone showing in. Oh, yeah, extremely vanilla. And it may have been some of the reason why Sonny was a little bit like, what do I do? What he's been seeing in practice and OTAs and it wasn't vanilla like this. So it may have been a translation problem. It could have been he's playing with a bunch of scrubs and they were in their wrong spot. See, this is what I was talking about. For the low IQ people, I'm going to talk slow again. You don't know what we were looking at, you geniuses. Sonny might have been looking lost because he saw an Uber driver in the spot he was supposed to be headed to. Oh, you didn't think of that, did you? No, I didn't think you would have. Because if you had any intelligence, these takes wouldn't be put out. So, without knowing what the hell you're looking at, your opinion is idiotic. You look like a complete moron. I don't care if you're on ESPN or if you're my best friend or if you're my worst enemy. If you could see what I looked at and the bunches of players that ended up in most of the spots when he got confused, and you know he's playing with Uber drivers and baristas, how do you know he was not lost because there was people in the spot he was supposed to be in? You don't, and you're not smart enough to figure out what you don't know. So shut up, because I'm tired of hearing the dumb shit. Quit trying to tear my team down because we're going to whip your asses this year either way. And that I will leave you with. And I appreciate all of y'all coming back to the Gridiron Report with David Wright. I would love to hear your comments, see your comments down below. It would even be better if you like, share, subscribe, and come back for the next shows. We have small talk on the Gridiron every Tuesday and Wednesday with me and Ron. We're also putting together a round table. Hey, Ron, if you can get them other two so we can get started maybe this week or the next, that would be awesome. So we're going to bring you a lot of content. We're going to keep you updated on not just our team, but definitely the whole NFC East and more. Um, Once again, if anyone in here has any questions about any of your teams, put them down below. We will research it for you and we will bring it up in the next podcast and we will address it so you have your answers. Thank you for joining us and we will see you again. I'm going to try to go live with someone. I'm either going to find a fan or content creator and try to go live later on today. I will see you then. You have a great day. It is a beautiful Sunday. Thank you.